Hello everyone, welcome to BeeTV. The teams are warming up ready for the start of play. For a 2 p.m. pushback, it's Beeston versus Old Georgians. I'm Andy Day, your host. Sitting next to me, Steve Musson. What a game we're expecting today.
Yes, good afternoon, Andy. We're looking forward to this one because obviously Old Georgians, with their first season in the Premier League, have come in with impact straight away. A few players missing today, so it'll be interesting to see what effect that has on both them and Beeston. But I think it should be a pretty decent game of hockey anyway.
It does look very, very good indeed. We'll go through all of our preamble in a few moments' time. We'll be going through the tables, we'll be looking at the other fixtures. But firstly, we've got a few messages.
When you succeed,
we succeed.
So we listen.
We tailor. And we invest in you.
We are innovators.
We deliver results.
And world-class service.
We are always developing.
Learning and growing.
And getting better at what we do.
Supporting your business.
we make technology effortless.
And more than just a means to an end.
We're the team who serve.
And advise you.
All to help you achieve.
And surpass your goals.
We're super.
We're honest.
And go the extra mile.
We're winners.
And team players.
And together,
We're the managed service provider.
We're Air IT.
We're Air IT.
we're Air IT.
You're number one for IT and comms.
I played at the highest level for Holland since I was 17. First you start as a talented little girl and just go and play, and now you really have to carry the team. A lot of the media, they always write things about you, but it's not important. I know what I can do, and the people that I really care about, they always believed in me. And I've always been a fighter. Even when you think you can't go anymore, you just keep on going because of your team. My position in the field is important, but without the others, I'm a no one. Speed is very important. There isn't room for error, actually. It's just me, opponents, and my teammates. You have to give it your all, no mercy. Every competition we play, you just want to win. When you step on the podium, it's just the best feeling in the world. It is hard to dare and dream about winning, but we know if we play well, we can beat anyone.
Welcome back to BeeTV. Players warming up in front of us. The conditions, as ever, or as it seems to be these days, aren't ideal, but I think the players won't mind a little bit of drizzle today. Beeston versus Old Georgians, match starting at 2 o'clock. We've got some team news coming through, which we're just going through, but what we will bring you up to speed with is the live standings in the pool. We've already had a result today. You can see to the top of your screen on the right-hand side, Exeter University 2, Surbiton 8. Now that was quite close, and Surbiton really pulling away towards the end. Maybe we can see the detail on that one. Let's see what the scoring sequence was. Flashing up, you can see there it was 2-1 at the end of the first quarter, and then really pulling away Surbiton with an incredible goal difference at the moment. Zach Wallace and Josh Redstone, Max Lowry pulling one back for University of Exeter right at the end of the first quarter. Redstone on target again, Ben Bone with his first of his 2. David Goodfield, Luke Taylor with 2 as well. Tom Brooks making it 2-7 for University of Exeter. Surbiton very, very strong.
Yeah, the Surbiton machine rolls on, doesn't it, really? I mean, this tally of goals that they're scoring this year is absolutely incredible. But credit to Exeter, you know, they're a competitive side. They've saved themselves on a couple of occasions and stayed in the Premier League, and it's good to see them getting the 2 goals there, and for parts of the game pushing Surbiton a little bit. Indeed, and this is what the table looks like currently. Surbiton leading the way with 12 points, 4 from 4, with a goal difference of 29. Plus 29. Old Georgians, today's visitors, have been knocked off the top. They're currently sitting in 2nd place. Holcombe in 3rd with 9. Wimbledon in 4th place with 8. Hampstead and Westminster only playing 3 games so far. They're in 6th. East Grinstead in 6th with 6 with an inferior goal difference. Beeston, today's obviously the hosts are here at BeeTV, with 1 win under their belt. They're in 7th with 3 points. Brooklands Manchester University, 3 points on their tally so far. We'll see how they got them in a few moments' time. University of Exeter in 9th with 3 points, and Reading bottom with 1 point after 5 games. Today's other fixtures: Wimbledon Holcombe, Beeston Old Georgians, which we're following, and Hampstead and Westminster versus Brooklands. I mentioned Brooklands Manchester University getting 3 points. This is how they did it against Beeston last weekend.
In the men's Premier Division, our first match is at Brooklands for the visits of Beeston. The home side have had a torrid start to the season, losing all 3 matches, conceding 20 goals. The visitors have also had a tough start, with just 3 points to their name.
Plenty of movement at the top of the circle. It goes to the nearest Castle Flanagan. Good save. Back in by Lush, and Brooklands have the lead. Tom Lush fires it past Hujwan. And I can tell you, he enjoyed that. The initial save is a good one from the Beeston goalkeeper. Lush quickly pounces on the rebound. Chance for the Bees. Straight after conceding, rocket down the baseline, just behind a sliding Nick Park. It's a good carry by the Spaniard, and Nick Park just can't get it goalwards. Turned over at right half, and Beeston will look to counter-attack. It's a 3-on-1 now. Croft across to Griffiths, and well out by Robbie Turner.
Great work, Robbie. Top work, Robbie.
Griffiths' first touch just takes the ball away from him, and the on-rushing Robbie Turner does a good job of smothering the striker. Brooklands are able to clear their lines. Still 1-0. Good work down the right-hand side. Aidan Carres up to Sam Perrin. He's actually played a little 1-2 with Lawrence, and Perrin is still going, spinning into the D, and it's been cleared off the line by Robbie Gleeson, I believe. Perrin managed to scoop it underneath Hujwan, and Robbie Gleeson saves the Beeston, going 2 behind. Dixon off the line, and away by Brooklands. Beeston knocking on the door. Adam Dixon denied by the postman, and well away by Tom Russell. Dixon again, blocked by Way, and the whistle gone, saving Brooklands. Adam Dixon again from the penalty corner, and then the swinging effort from Croft, denied at the last minute by the Brooklands defender. Dixon off the top anyway, charges it down. Brave number 1 running. The Brooklands penalty corner defence team really keeping them in this game. Anyway, indicating there, all stick. Only a couple of minutes to go. Beeston still trailing 1-0. Anyway, he's missed it. It's a chance for Adam Dixon versus the Brooklands captain Flanagan. He's found a foot, Adam Dixon. 2 minutes to go, penalty corner. Dixon slipped behind, Willard's back across. Griffiths with the shot, wonderful save by Turner. Again Griffiths, and this time he's awarded a penalty stroke. It's Tom Russell on the floor. Slight variation at the corner. Initially a great save by Robbie Turner. And Tom Russell on the floor, dangles his stick out. Gives away the stroke. Devastation for Brooklands, who have led for about 60 minutes. Dixon equalises for Beeston. The England and GB captain right into the corner of the net. Robbie Turner guessed the right way but couldn't quite reach the powerful flick. Brooklands have been leading Beeston for almost the entirety of the game today at George's Road, coming back from obviously that 12-0 defeat last week at the hands of Surbiton. And Adam Dixon has just taken that lead from them. Though Brooklands straight away back on the attack, and they've won a corner. David Flanagan onto the foot of the Beeston defender. Anyway! Gives Brooklands the lead again. Just moments after conceding the equaliser, Brooklands fire back. Anyway, slings it past Hujwan. And you can see what it meant to the Brooklands players there. Final seconds now, a chance for Beeston, batted away by Robbie Turner. Aidan Kares, former Beeston player, takes the ball away and lobs it down the line to Tom Russell. Beeston have pulled their goalkeeper. Russell has an open net. Whistle saving Beeston this time. Back stick, Tom Russell had the goal gaping, just had to hit the ball on target. Desperate defence by Brooklands. They've won it back. Tom Russell again, trying to kill the clock on the far touchline in front of the home crowd. And there it is, full time. Brooklands hang on.
Led out by today's match umpires, Lee Barron and Paul Walker. Let's hear it for visitors Old Georgians and your Beeston Hockey Club. Representing Beeston, number 1, sponsored by Wakefield Trade Windows Limited, Simon Hujwan. Number 5, sponsored by Best Parties Ever.
Number 6, sponsored by Trent College, Robbie Gleeson. Number 8, sponsored by Repton School Captain, Joe Shaw. Number 11, sponsored by Dundalk Services Limited, Henry Croft. Number 12, Alex Banfield. 15, sponsored by Glenn, Jonas Hogmans. 16, sponsored by Lawrence Trucks and Machinery, Stephen Lawrence. 17, sponsored by Lawrence Trucks and Machinery, Richard Lawrence. 19, Lucas Ward. 21, sponsored by Office Innovations, Chris Proctor. 22, Sam Apula. 23, Matthew Cruikshanks. 25, Joe Waterston. 28, Stuart Kemper. And 35, Mark Rodsley. Today's visitors, Old Georgians. Number 1, goalkeeper Nick Bowe. 2, Andy Bowe. 3, Edward Fleet. 5, Matthew Min. 7, Captain Thomas Doran. 8, Tom Carson. 9, Isaac Ferrant. 10, James Tyndall. 11, Dan Showers. 14, Tom Watson. 15, Lee Morton. 16, Edward Carson. 17, Matt Richards. 18, James Albury. 19, Ron Carter Keel. And 21, James Cunningham. Can you read? Big warm welcome as well to Bradford School. Give us a wave, Bradford School. Enjoy the game.
Hopefully you caught the match day 16s there. What's caught your eye, or maybe to the untrained eye, what else? What is missing from those match day lineups?
Well, both sides have got players missing today. The obvious ones from Old Georgians, Sam Ward, George Pinner, and they're particular. I mentioned those because they're ex-Beeston players. So in a way, it's good to see them not here. But Old Georgian side is full of strength in depth anyway. And from their point of view, the scary players for me, James Tyndall, who at 36 is still one of the best strikers around. James Aubrey, who is capable of scoring goals and creates a lot on the pitch. And from Beeston's point of view, they need to sort of recover from last week's game at Brooklands, which was a disappointment to them. But I'll be looking for Henry Croft and Chris Proctor to lead the line, and let's see how they perform today.
Indeed, it's looking good. If you're watching us in black and white, it's Old Georgians in the light shirts, and they are the team getting us underway. Instantly, it's out to the left side. Matt Richards getting an early touch in front of us, and it's probably worth noting today's captain is Joe Sharp, and you were saying it's Joe Sharp's first captaincy of Beeston.
In the Premier League, I think that's right. I think he might have captained in a cup game at some point, so it's good to see him get in that role today. And completely deserved. I mean, he's been such a regular performer for Beeston, so I'm glad to see that happen for him.
Beeston on the ball. It's a bit of a battle already, and they've got the rub of the ball going. Aerial towards the left-hand side, taken nicely, under control and towards the baseline. This is looking promising for Beeston, drawing the goalkeeper out, and it's a long corner first off. You were saying about the players that aren't available. That's Nick Bull, the goalkeeper in your shot for Old Georgians. First appearance of the season for him.
Yes, that's right, and I think he'll be keen to get that game going. And Beeston have started off pretty well here. The attacking move straight away through Chris Proctor. Pity they couldn't get that early corner out of it, but there'll be a real enthusiasm from Beeston's point of view to get into this game early, because it's taken them a while in previous games. So I'm glad to see them at the Old Georgians end.
Indeed, goal scoring hasn't been a particularly strong aspect of the Beeston game so far this season. And we're looking to them to get on the score sheet nice and early. Sideline ball for the home side, going back over the halfway line, maintaining possession. Old Georgians win the ball back but put it out of play. Beeston sideline ball.
Yeah, Beeston will be keen to get their passing pace up early. I think that's been something that's been a little bit slow for them in the previous games. So just see Robbie Gleeson on the ball there. He's capable of getting through the midfield, but he's got to make sure he connects his passes. That wasn't the best of passes there.
Old Georgians ball. Let's see what they can do with this from the set piece. It's over halfway. Played forward into a little bit of traffic down the right hand side. This should be blocked, and it is at the expense of a long corner. With the ball, Dan Shingles thought about an early pass, but he's checked and gone to the right hand side. To the baseline now is the ball. It's popped up in the air. Whistle goes. Beeston ball.
I think you managed to predict that decision there, Andy, because it actually hadn't happened when you said it was.
Well, rely on me for giving you the lottery numbers later on. Tune in. That's a special service on BeeTV later this evening.
A few adjustments for Beeston in the lineup. Robbie Gleeson obviously moving into the back four for today, with Ollie Willars not being available. And Stephen, the ever reliant Stephen Lawrence there with his traditional role at centre back.
Low aerial ball bounce, it's taken nicely. Is it kept in play? It is. Another Beeston ball just in front of us here in the chapel at Nottingham Hockey Centre. Beeston committing a few more players forward for this set piece routine. Number 5, Kyle Marshall, gets us underway once again. Crispness to the early passing from Beeston.
Yes. They'll be very keen to make sure they don't turn anything over whilst they're transferring around the back four, because with the likes of Tyndall particularly and Carson up there, any error will be pounced on very quickly, and they're very capable of counter-attacking over what would be a short distance from there to get their shots away, so they'll have to be very mindful of that.
Umpire Lee Barron just making sure everything is precise, although that's a turnover.
There's an example.
The ball sticking very nicely for Old Georgians, and this is the first time into the circle. First attempt on goal, it's been blocked. Long corner is the indication.
Just what we're talking about there, that turnover in those areas, that ball was picked up too easily. Robbie Gleeson had to do a lot of work to get over and cover that and stop the reverse stick shot.
You can't stop every turnover, but the turnovers that turn into goal-scoring opportunities are the ones that you need to stop for sure, and that was one.
A little bit more pressure needed there. That's
fizzed in and then hit away, and Beeston come into space. That's been blocked. Will it fall to a Beeston stick? No. Waiting for it.
A little bit more reaction needed from the Beeston forwards there. That's wasn't controlled by Old Georgians. That could have been pounced on, I think, a bit quicker, but nevertheless they've got the ball back.
You can't see Kyle Marshall, well you can now. He was just right in front of us, so close to us. He was actually underneath the camera, retrieving the ball out of play. With it now, Stephen Lawrence. That's a night saying about the crispness of the passing a few moments ago. Everything is seeming to stick. But that said, that's possession turned over in a dangerous position.
Yeah, this is what would worry me most of all, those turnovers. Alex Bloomfield on the ball there, but very quickly surrounded by Old Georgians players. He's got to think quicker than that and get that ball out of that tight area.
Looking at some of the results so far this season, Old Georgians haven't been stopped from scoring at all. They won their first game 4-1. Second game, that was Exeter University at home. Away, they beat Hampstead Westminster, the champions, 4-3. What a statement of intent that is. Drew with Wimbledon 3-3 and then beat East Grinstead 5-0 away. So it's a heavy duty start from them.
Yeah, I think the ambition of the club's been clear for a few seasons now. It's been an intention to see them get to the top of the Premier League, and they want to play European hockey as well. So dangerous combination of players they've got to put together at the moment.
Lee Borton to Edward Fleet. Here's Fleet again. Space is opening up for Old Georgians on the left. I'm sure this is Old Georgians' change shirt, isn't it? I think it's a maroon.
Sky blue.
They would usually play maroon. Let's see what the outcome is here. Can the Old Georgian forward get the shot away? No, it's been taken off the toe of his stick, and that's neat out of defence, but turned over very quickly. That's a little bit of a nudge on 15, Lee Morton. Old Georgians ball.
Yeah, very quick restart there from Old Georgians. They're obviously keen to get this ball into the D.
Ojwan intercepts it, and that's the first penalty corner of the game. Let's see what happened there. It was very, very quick. Let's see if we can make sense of what we've just seen. So, penalty corner. Let's see what is going on here. We've got a couple of contenders on the outside. James Tyndall, who you've spoken about before.
Yeah, and
Tom
Carson as well. Yeah, the two predominant strikers for Georgians in the absence of Sam Ward. So no lack of ability here. It's like Stephen Lawrence is going to be running number 1.
Everyone's set. Let's see. 8 minutes on the board. That's blocked by Hojwan. Ball still live in the circle. Awful lot of bodies in front of him, and that's just somehow not gone in the goal. That hit a foot as well. It's going to be a Beeston ball.
I'm surprised that stayed out in actual fact. It was a good save, easy height for Simon Hojwan's first save, but then obviously seeing it fly across the goal mouth like that, I'm surprised it didn't go in. An escape for Beeston, I think, there.
Well, that's the first one. Your rule of 3 will probably come into play as well today, so that's the first PC for the Georgians today.
Well, the early lesson is that Beeston's back 4 have got to get on the tempo, match the tempo of the forwards and make sure that they're ready for quick restarts, and it's quite clear that the attention to speed and restarts by Old Georgians is high, so instantly that's a message that the Beeston defenders are going to receive.
umpire reminding the Beeston midfielder about 5 metres. And that's why it took a little bit longer to restart there. There's a muscularity to the forward line of Old Georgians.
Yes, there is.
That Beeston have got to match. Into the circle
of
they go,
space.
and that's the first goal of the game. Nice turn and shot from Old Georgians.
Well, that's exactly the point, really. There was a couple of opportunities there where Beeston could have controlled that, and he's had too much space.
For you in a couple of moments, but it is the away side that have the lead at Nottingham Hockey Centre. Beeston 0, Old Georgians 1. Another team can't stop Old Georgians from scoring.
Yeah, that's right. It's they've got a lot of players capable of scoring.
Instant response from Beeston here. That's flashed across goal.
Off the keeper's legs. Well, the best response would be to get straight back into action from Beeston's point of view, but they're going to need to keep hold of this possession.
As I mentioned, Tom Watson was the goal scorer for the first goal. That's official now. That's dangerous. Ball into the area. Nice attempt.
Yeah, a bit of a lazy effort, though. I think really he didn't concentrate on that strike. His head was up and he's just smacked it straight into the air. So. A little bit more refinement needed, I think.
His teammate's not happy, making it all the way down towards that goal.
That's right.
Seeing the ball fly through towards the boulevard.
Well, the way that hockey's played nowadays, you know, 1 goal down is it's not the end of the world, but you've got to maintain your own standards because you don't want to get into a situation where it starts to run away too quickly. With Old Georgians having already shown they can score a lot of goals, there's a time now to make sure that Beeston gets settled again.
It has gone by very quickly indeed, this first 11 minutes, I must say. It's sometimes a game that takes a while to settle into a routine, and this has really cracked along, almost at the end of the first quarter.
I think that's right, and I think OGs have set a tempo, and the question mark really is, can Beeston get up to that level?
Nice ball into the corner, nice skill to release. And it's gone out.
Yeah, and it's Holtman's there on the baseline.
And he's not happy at all. He thought that taken a bit of a flick, and he appeals to the umpire. No VAR today. Compared to their speed at the attacking D, this is quite composed.
Yeah, they've got a nice balance at the moment. It's obviously part of their plan to be organised when they're on the ball, make sure that there's nothing rushed, have a patient build-up, and then the power and the energy comes when they're in the danger zone.
A lot of noise over there, and the ball's gone Beeston's way. Instantly 2 players on it. Would that be a sign to get 2 players on the attack, 2 defenders on the attacker?
Yeah, they want to close down whoever's on the ball quickly.
Has one with the feet, and then it's crunched out of play. And Beeston could break here. Nice step in from Dan Shingles, stops the break forward.
Yeah, their work rate's good. They're working into good defensive shape quickly, OGs. Beeston's still not quite flowing, but every game has its patches for each team, and I think that'll come soon.
Decent pass through 2 players. Let's see what this happens. And that's taken a flick outside of the circle. Could fall kindly. Composed defensive work.
Yeah, good defensive work there.
Thought about playing it in the air, waiting for it to drop, and I think that was the sensible option. Beeston, when they get the ball, there's no space at all, is there? And it all seems to be right by the sideline.
Yeah, credit to OGs. They're decided with their pressing and their closing down of players on the ball to force the ball to where they want it to be.
There's a first ball into space, really. We've seen for our first couple of moments from Beeston. I think that's come off a foot, so it'll be a Beeston ball, and they are going quickly. It is Kyle Marshall along the line. Sam Apula, 22, flicks the ball forward, and it's come off an OG stick.
Asking quite a lot of Robbie Gleeson in the Beeston defence in terms of his passing and his pace travelling with the ball to just make sure that he's leading and creating the attacks. But these sorts of positions are where Beeston needs to be calm and organised.
That's a better ball in, although it was straight to an Old Georgian stick. Finally, though, there's a little bit of space in defence. There's no blue shirt, and finally there is creeping into shot Tom Watson, the goal scorer.
There's Robbie Gleeson again.
Marshall looks up, assesses his options. Going back is the right one in his opinion. Apula looking to receive this, or maybe not. It's gone beyond him. He's in support, and he picks the ball out of the sky. This could fall nicely, given the opportunity that's presented itself now. Beeston ball.
The Old Georgians are trying to get the press to be quick on the Beeston defence. They left a bit of space for that transfer, which allowed Beeston to get forward. Maybe that's one of the things that Beeston can work on, the speed of their own transfers and the connections into midfield.
Bobbling ball around in the circle. Long corner indicates the umpire. Better from Beeston, but no real clear goal-scoring opportunity yet. This one's bouncing around again and being turned over. And Old Georgians
that
so
restart
quickly
is
on the attack.
Rapid, really quick. This is dangerous for Beeston, but thankfully at least they've slowed it down.
Yes.
But we were talking 2 or 3 seconds there from the minute that ball was turned over by Beeston on the edge of the Old Georgians D, and here it is the other end.
Very quick indeed, and this could be. Oh, that's nicely intercepted from Chris Proctor, who's had a good season so far. Chris Proctor stepping in at the right moment. Oh, his progress is blocked. Whistle goes, and umpire Walker just in front of us here indicates it's a home ball.
Yeah, good work from Chris Proctor as a forward, getting back to do some defensive duties, and it's going to be needed.
Holtmans picked the ball out of the sky neatly there, and umpire has indicated it's a Beeston free hit. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure why. That seemed to be a decent connection. Was the defender lingering a little bit too close?
Yeah, when you face a side like Old Georgians and the way that they're playing at the moment, you always become torn between whether you take a quick restart or whether you make sure you maintain the possession. The best way at this stage is to be patient, unlike that situation where you turn the ball over too easily.
A lot of blue shirts in your picture right now. This looks like a presentable opportunity for Old Georgians, although it's a nice, important step in. I think that was Holtmans again involved.
You can see how most of the time Beeston's defence is having to be a form of scramble defence where they're not particularly organised, and that's because players higher up the pitch are turning the ball over too easily. And keeps everybody out of shape.
If by magic, we've got our first quarter over and done with. How about that? That was very quick.
It did seem very quick, that.
I tell you what, there's more great hockey coming your way. If you're a fan of either of the Great Britain Olympic teams, then you can head on down to Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre on the 2nd and 3rd of November. It's the FIH Hockey Olympic qualifiers. Great Britain's women play Chile and Great Britain's men play Malaysia. Both days, both teams back to back. You can get your tickets at beestonhockeyclub.com/Olympic qualifiers. One more time, beestonhockeyclub.com/Olympic qualifiers to cheer on the Great Britain teams. And there is the scoring confirmed for you. We're at the end of the first quarter. Tom Watson confirmed as that goal scorer.
Yeah, we said, didn't we, he had a lot of space in the D and just wasn't closed down enough, and that was early on when Beeston was trying to strive to get to the same tempo as Old Georgians, and that'll be one of the things I'm sure they're talking about now, making sure that they match each Old Georgians player for pace.
We'll have a quick look around the grounds elsewhere as well. There were a couple of matches starting at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Holcombe, Wimbledon, they're relatively, I was going to say, at the same points, and it's a bit of a couple of goals there. Holcombe 1, Wimbledon 2, and they're just underway in the match between Hampstead and Westminster and Brooklyn, so no score there. So Holcombe, Wimbledon 1-2. Earlier today, Exeter University 2, Surbiton 8, a final score. Our focus now to Nottingham Hockey Centre and Beeston versus Old Georgians. It's 0-1 to the visitors, and I think they're good value for the lead at the moment.
I think that's right. Yeah, they've set their stall out to play at a high tempo, and that's worked very well. We've said before, Beeston really taking time in most games so far to match their opponents from that point of view. Not that they can't play at the same level, they've just got to get that mentality going after a tough start to the season.
Tom Watson's first goal of the season, by the way. Flick forward. I think that's a sideline ball for Beeston, I reckon. Well, we need a ball for it to be a sideline.
That's right, yeah. James Aubrey from right half, obviously dangerous player from there. His time at Beeston, we used to play him in the same sort of role, and very creative from that sort of position.
That one's gone all the way through. Are we going to go back to the sideline? Is that what's going to happen here? No. Just inside the sideline.
It's very
Beeston
deep.
Under pressure instantly. And really finding it difficult to get out of their defensive third at the moment. All the way back to the baseline. That's a dangerous cross-field ball. High confidence and a nice little bit of trick in there to avoid the sweep of the stick.
Yeah.
Nice work.
And that was a decent build-up and a way of escaping, but the turnover from Alex Bloomfield there was a bit unnecessary. To hold on to the ball at that position would have been better for his team.
Instantly that ball was crunched in towards the far post, and lingering around on the penalty spot, Tom Carson, he doesn't need any invitation to go for a ball.
No, they're not messing around with their attacks at all.
That's a decent take. Decent take. Chris Proctor, he's on the ball now. Can he release a pass? He doesn't, but he wins second prize in the raffle. But it's a free hit for Beeston, taken quickly. They've taken a leak out of the Old Georgian book, and that's put in. What a finish! What a finish!
Lucas Ward. I think that was unusual because I think for the first time so far, Old Georgians caught napping a bit there. Really, he was able to run into the edge of the D, and it wasn't particularly.
Which is very interesting indeed.
Yeah.
But hey, we're all square here. Beeston 1, Old Georgians 1, and I think the talking to has definitely had a bit of a effect instantly for the home side.
It shows the benefit of making sure that if you hit something or push something towards the D, that you get it on target, because anything can happen. It doesn't always have to be smacked into the roof of the net.
First appearance of the season for Lucas Ward, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's been playing hockey in Australia and just got back, so it's nice to see him back in the team.
Long burst of the whistle. Seeing if there's any hand to card. I can't get a visual on the umpire there. But yep, Lucas Ward, terrific strike from the edge of the circle, gave the goalkeeper no chance and no chance to settle either. But I don't want to overdo it and turn it into a finger pointing exercise. But what was Matt Richards doing?
Well, I think well, here we go again. There's another turnover for OGs. They've got a lot of space here.
That's turned over nicely from Beeston, and that should be a free hit if it doesn't fall Beeston's way. They're going quickly. By the way, don't over discredit Chris Proctor. Chris Proctor was integral, and here he's again.
He was, yeah.
He's chopped inside and he's fallen under pressure.
Yeah, just run across the defender's legs, so there's nothing in that. He's got the free hit in a dangerous place. Yeah, I think, as I say, I think they, for the first time, Old Georgians' defence just switched off a little bit and just gave it just a small amount of space, which allowed Lucas Ward to get his push off.
One more stride, I think he would have been blocked. Here we go again. That's gone all the way through. I thought it was held up just in front of the goalkeeper, but it went all the way through.
Yeah, one of my pets' hates was seeing the ball fly out the opposite side of the D, and it's important that forwards are aware of the cross and the potential to get on the end of it. Changed the nature of the game a little bit, Andy, I think, because obviously that equaliser means that now both sides have got to think about maintaining possession for slightly longer.
Home side really snapping into things, but ball's not quite falling their way. They're not having the rub of the green at the moment.
Beeston are getting the free hits off sort of little errors, but you can't sort of doubt the pressing that Old Georgians are placing on defenders at the moment. So the idea of a fast transfer to create space on the opposite side is important, as is happening here, but they need to make sure that this is released forward, because again, there you see the press.
Matthew Cruikshank's progress blocked, and it'll be a free hit for the men in black. Aerial ball.
Different attempts at getting out there, so resorting to the aerial could have been useful, but it needed to be picked up. Alex Bloomfield just missing that. So I think one of Old Georgians' strengths here is the transfers to the sidelines. They are finding that easy to press. That's making life difficult for Beeston. They could do with outlets through the midfield, but the security on the ball has not been good enough to see that happen. So hence the aerial as another option, really.
That's the first time I think Beeston have rode out a two-man challenge like that.
Yeah. You can see Old Georgians pinning.
Stop. There we go. Clock stopped, and we're going to see a card here. It's a green card for goal scorer Tom Watson. He's got a 2-minute temporary suspension, so it'll be a two-man advantage for Beeston.
As I was just saying, you can see how Old Georgians are pinning any player on that left-hand side to the line, so they can't get out. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it makes life very difficult to create anything for Beeston. And there's a free player again.
Even though they're a player down, they seem to look like there's more of. That's a decent ball out to the right side. Is this a shooting opportunity? It's slid past the post and wide.
Robbie Gleeson just doing enough to put the striker off his shot there, but again, a lot of space, and that's come about through a turnover from the midfield player for Beeston. So again, the same traits.
I think that was Dan Shingles right on top of the goalkeeper. He was flat out.
Okay, a few more options if you can get that connection into the midfield. Here we go again. Where was he going with that? It's a bit better, this.
Bit more considered, isn't it? And
yeah.
Also, that pressure somehow has been taken off. There's no two men straight onto the ball, giving Beeston that opportunity. So it looks like Old Georgians have decided to withdraw and to try a new defensive strategy, although it's been picked off.
Same thing happens again there. That's Lucas Ward turned that over. And this is where the pressure comes from.
And that's crunched towards the goal, and that is straight out of play for a Beeston defensive hit. A reminder that they are still down to 10 men for a temporary period.
So in that little play there, Andy, you can see the benefit of using a pass into the midfield to create some doubt in the forwards pressing, but of course it does rely on everybody to keep that ball, you know, on the end of their stick.
Nice riding two challenges from Chris Proctor. Chris Proctor, can he find a pass? He can. Can this be converted into a goal scoring opportunity? No, it isn't, and it's a defensive hit for Old Georgians.
Useful attack, driving hard, causing the defence some issues, and Sam Apula very nearly on the end of that.
I'm trying to look out of the window here. I think we're back up to a full complement of 11 for Old Georgians, so that 2-minute temporary suspension is over. We're back to 11 versus 11. Settled a little bit, hasn't it? This is a nice aerial ball. That's taken down nicely. And a bit laid off. Clock stopped. Is this the umpire checking on someone's health rather than a card? I think it is.
Just making sure nothing happens after the event, but again, dangerous high position for the Old Georgians forward, and Beeston have had to scramble that defence again. It's a throwback to the past, mentioning Old Louts. They were a rival of ours in the past.
I think taking his leave of the field is Joe Waterston now. I think he may have been caught by that, and I think that is the reason for the stoppage after all. So walking off gingerly, 35, Joe Waterston. We'll keep an eye out for him, making sure he's okay.
There we go. A lot of pressure from OGs there, but they've found a way out, which is good because it's ended up with Chris Proctor, who's been quite secure on the ball when he's received it.
I did see a number 5 on the back of the shirt. Sounds like it's Mark Wadsley who went off to be treated. We'll keep an eye open for you.
Good work from. Here we go on a good break here. There's a lot of space here. This is
Stuart Cantwell, decent ball across the face. Can this be picked off? Goalkeeper kicks it out. Nick Ball in the thick of the action. I remind you, this is just his first game of the season for Old Georgians in between the sticks.
So everybody thinks it's not ideal when you're missing players, but having said that, it doesn't half give you an opportunity to get other people involved and to develop your squad in general, which is what you're going to need throughout the season anyway.
Another blow on the whistle. Walker is the umpire in front of us and he indicates it's an OG ball. 3 season debuts for Beeston today, if I'm not mistaken. Lucas Ward, Mark Bosley and Stuart Cantwell.
Yeah. Yeah, Stuart was involved in the pre-season, but I think he picked up an injury and this is the first time he's been able to play.
Into the circle they go, and that one is out of play.
Moving a bit dangerously again across the face of the goal, but for the first time in the game, Old Georgians didn't have anybody actually on that keeper.
Just had trying to look where the corner flags were, and they're right with us in the chapel.
Yeah.
Pops up. Hopefully this can be dealt with. In front of us, Matthew Cruikshanks.
Yeah, Beeston being forced to use the same way of outletting all the time, and it's getting quite easy for OGs to pick that up.
Yeah, predictable. Andy Ball crosses halfway.
See Richard Lawrence trying to split the pitch, but the ball is able to get round easy because there's no further pressure and they're on the edge of the D again. So important that the other forwards are close enough to step out and put pressure on the defence.
Just the speed that the Old Georgians are playing at the moment. Let's see how this develops. That's going to go out of play. The speed that they're playing in the final quarter of the field, they will be phenomenal indoors, I think.
I'm sure that's on their list of programmes that they want to deal with.
Toot of the whistle.
Yeah, penalty corner.
Penalty corner, second of the game.
It's a reward of a patient build-up, really. It gets you to... Yes, having sort of fought back into this and become a bit settled, they'll be very keen to keep this out. This is 2 out of 3, this.
Yes, indeed. I'm keeping a mental note of it as well. Muss's rule of 3 is you have to score at some point, or one of your 3 penalty corners in succession. Let's see. Teams are ready. Andy Ball towards the left. It's been flashed in and smashed into the goal from short range.
That is a great follow-up. That ball was over head height, and he's managed to get his reverse stick on that and just put it into the net as it's come off the keeper. So great reaction.
taking the congratulations of his team on the replay, and we are back underway straight away. So Beeston fought back to equalise. Old Georgians have retaken the lead from a converted penalty corner from extremely close range.
And follow-ups on short corners, staying aware. Even though there's a decent save made by the keeper, there's always a second opportunity if you've kept your eye on the ball.
Clock ticking towards half-time. I feel like the Bees have got that second goal in them before half-time.
I think there's definitely a second goal in the Bees, yeah, but they've got to make sure that there isn't a third for OGs because their attacking speed is great.
Just in front of the penalty spot at the moment, a little bit chaotic. Beeston come out with it. We'll say that Matthew Ming was hovering with intent on the far side of the circle there. If it popped out his way, he almost had the opportunity for a free shot.
Yeah. Quite happy OGs to feed that ball into the D just on the hope that somebody would get on the end.
Oh,
that was an opportunity.
Time. Yep, first time on that left side.
Yeah, unusual miss from Tyndall from short range there.
It really set himself, hadn't he?
Yeah. He's one of those forwards that's able to sort of ghost into open positions, and defensively, from a keeper's point of view, you've got to keep communicating and telling defenders where a player like he is.
Did a little bit of numbers on James Tyndall before the game started. It's his second time at Old Georgians, by the way.
Yep.
In his first spell, he scored 80 goals in 34 games.
Yes.
That
Ridiculous,
way round,
really.
30 goals in 34, 80 goals in 34 games. 2.4 goals per game. Since his second spell, he's calmed down a little bit. It's still very, very good indeed. 62 in 104 up to today. That's just a 0.6 goals per game. So
that's very good indeed.
Got 1 and 2.
And he was just as prolific in his time at Surbiton. And of course, he's been a member of the England GB side on 2 occasions.
European champion as well?
Yeah. Apparently he's quite good at cricket as well. Very annoying.
Oh, you love people.
Talented, yes.
Aerial ball taken down nicely, trapped, and a swing and a miss.
Now that is a shame because he did the hard work. Yes, he just needed to keep his eye on the ball there.
Credit to Henry Croft.
Henry Croft, yeah. And that's a lovely pick by Chris Proctor.
Turned over again. The pace from this visiting side is incredible, although that said,
classic old-fashioned tackle there. Stephen Lawrence just making sure he was low to the ground.
Stand in the way, make sure you get the ball. Space is starting to open up. Richard Lawrence plays the ball out to the right-hand side of the circle, taken nicely by Chris Proctor. Proctor still on the ball now. Beeston sideline ball, not 5 metres.
Not long to go. They need to get something out of this quickly.
PC now would be lovely, wouldn't it? Crunched in towards face a goal and out.
Another one out the other side of the D. That's unpleasant to watch, really. We need to keep that ball in the D.
Try and engineer a foot maybe or something.
Yeah.
In fact, there is the final whistle for the end of the first half. It's been a very entertaining first half indeed. Tom Watson opening the scoring for Old Georgians. Beeston equalising through Lucas Ward. Lovely finish it was from the edge of the circle. And just a few moments ago, Edward Carson converting a penalty corner from extremely close range. Good following up work. Half-time score here on BeeTV. Beeston 1, Old Georgians 2.
When you succeed,
We succeed.
So we listen.
We tailor. And we invest in you.
We are innovators.
We deliver results.
And world-class service.
We are always developing you.
Learning and growing.
And getting better at what we do.
Supporting your business.
we make technology effortless
And more than just a means to an end.
We're the team who serve.
and advise you.
All to help you achieve.
And surpass your goals.
We're super.
We're honest.
And go the extra mile.
We're winners.
And team players.
And together,
We're the managed service provider.
We're Air IT.
We're Air IT.
we're Air IT.
You're number one for IT and comms.
I played at the highest level for Holland since I was 17. First you start as a talented little girl and just go and play, and now you really have to carry the team. A lot of the media, they always write things about you, but it's not important. I know what I can do, and the people that I really care about, they always believed in me. And I've always been a fighter. Even when you think you can't go anymore, you just keep on going because of your team. My position in the field is important, but without the others, I'm a no one. Speed is very important. There isn't room for error, actually. It's just me, opponents, and my teammates. You have to give it your all, no mercy. Every competition we play, you just want to win. When you step on the podium, it's just the best feeling in the world. It is hard to dare and dream about winning, but we know if we play well, we can beat anyone.
Welcome back to BeeTV. It's a classic unfolding here at Nottingham Hockey Centre. 35 minutes played, 3 goals, 1 to Beeston, 2 to Old Georgians. The story of the game so far, Tom Watson scoring first from open play. Lovely reverse effort from him. Beeston equalising through Lucas Ward. And Beeston looking good for their equaliser as well. Towards the end of the half, Edward Carson converting from very close range indeed after a penalty corner was saved. Traditional question, Steve Musson, what's the advice to the teams at half-time?
Well, I think that Beeston needs to play with much more confidence than they did in that half, because it's an open game, which is good from anybody's point of view. Particularly, it's made it enjoyable to watch. There are lots of gaps between midfielders and defenders from Beeston's point of view, and they can get themselves to the edge of the D, which is how Lucas Ward got his goal. But they need to be a little bit more committed to it at the moment. They seem to be a little bit under par, and I would expect the coaches to be trying to get some more activity into them. And equally, they've got to work on getting this ball out from the back through the midfield zones, I think, because OGs are very good at pressing whenever that ball is with a half-back.
OK then, so that set up the second half very neatly indeed. Teams are just doing their final preparations ahead of the start of the game. There's a couple of players having a bit of a bop there in the middle of the field as well, which is always nice to see. Yes. They can hear the music. So I'm not going to say who's going to win this, but how many more goals will we see? 1, 2 or more? It
doesn't look like the sort of the game to me where there won't be any more goals. I mean, I think it's both sides are capable of scoring. I still think that OGs have got some very good forwards in Tom Carson and James Tyndall, so Beeston are going to have to compete with that, and I'd like to see Beeston get back on level terms quickly if possible, because I think that'll make more of a game out of it.
And it is Beeston that get us going with the ball into their own half. First feel of the ball, always important, and the longer you can go without your opponent touching the ball, the better it is for you. And instantly, the ball is out of play for a Beeston sideline ball. Thought about an aerial there, I think, but it's gone low and into the floor. Beeston continue to possess and have the ball back in their own half.
It's very important to demonstrate that you can keep that ball, because otherwise opponents think, well, we can pick that at any point in time. So you get confidence in yourself by making sure that your passes all connect and that you can hold the ball at your control. So Beeston have got to certainly make that happen.
Composed, steady start for the second half. And
that's why, because that's what Old Georgians were waiting for.
Nice take just outside the circle, and that's been played in front of the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper Hujwan comes out and slides and plays the ball out of danger. Nice vision from the goalkeeper. And that's a decent ball down the left-hand side, flicked up into the air. With it is Stuart Cantwell. Cantwell with a great record as a junior player. Let's see what it's like in his Premier League. I think he might have been unlucky there. He spun, tried to engineer, I think, a PC.
Yeah,
I think
I think it did look like the Old Georgians defender was nice and low, but Beeston have won it back again.
Crookshanks has earned a Beeston free hit on the quarter line. Taken quickly, they've taken a leaf out of the Old Georgians book here. It's with Crookshanks. Crookshanks plays the ball into the circle. A lot of pressure on the player, no outlet visible at the moment for Old Georgians, and intercepted neatly again.
Yeah, you can get very tight in these corners. You've got to find a way of either getting a quick feed into the D or a transfer. It's very easy to close down players in those tight corners.
Nice skill from Matt Richards, engineering a way out of that situation. And that was very close to a pass in towards Tom Carson, the dangerous Tom Carson. Important interception there from Beeston's defence. Little trick fails to come off there. And it is with the away side as they look to press the boulevard end of Nottingham Hockey Centre. Ball dribbles out for a long corner.
Yeah, Old Georgians shape up well with their height when they get a counter-attack. There's already somebody heading high towards the keeper or the baseline, and a couple of easy passes in and out towards through one of the inside channel lines. And again, there was a few examples of that, and I think that's why they do find players free in the D.
That's popped up, but it's been controlled well. Old Georgians ball. There's a slip just inside the circle. Joe Sharp's gone to ground. You can see his captain's armband on his left arm as we're looking towards him.
A collision between two players there.
I'm hedging my bets a little bit more. I'm just saying he's gone to ground. That's flicked in and then aerialed out of danger. Bounces once and it's just hit the chapel. 5 points.
You see good height from Old Georgians in there, in Beeston's D there, because even though they're transferring around the back, their forwards are right on the penalty, in and around the penalty spot.
Another important interception in the circle. That's, is that Robbie Gleeson there?
Yes, yeah.
Ward has moved to the right side and he's done fairly well to progress the ball over halfway. And once again, feature of the game, it's been turned over.
Yeah, not sufficiently controlled, and there's space for Old Georgians here.
There was a player lingering at the back, and that was James Albury, I think formerly of these parts, isn't he?
He is, certainly was, yes.
That's looks like that one stung a little. Who's that on the floor? Number 10, James Tyndall.
Trying to get his creaky bones off the floor.
Reminds me of me waking up of a morning. Was the little lull in the play. Who stood out for you? Who would you nominate for the Riley Wealth Management Player of the Match? Tweet at officialBHC. That's officialBHC for your nominations for the Riley Wealth Management Player of the Match. Doesn't have to be a Beeston player, probably an Old Georgians player. Who stood out for you for today's match? Nice shoulder-to-shoulder work here. Noticeably the temperature's dropping a little bit. It wouldn't be a commentary without mentioning the weather somewhere. It has dropped considerably from the start of the play till right now. And that's a nice
stepping in well there. A little bit more precision needed, but Beeston have got away with that.
Holtman's making his way towards the baseline. Flashed in front of the goal, and that's in! No.
Didn't take a touch, but it was a good effort.
I couldn't quite believe my eyes there. I saw that hit the side netting inside the goal. I thought, how's that gone in? I wouldn't mind seeing that again, not necessarily on the replay right now, but just a little bit later on, just
have a look.
What happened? Another one that's popped up, and it's a long corner.
Keeping the pressure on. OG's defender stepped out, but at least there was enough strength in the potential cross, and has kept us with an opportunity from a long corner. More speed needed. There's space ahead here.
Another attempt down the left-hand side. This one played in a similar way. It's a little bit loose, and it's an OG ball, which they've decided to take very quickly indeed. And I think it'll be brought back because it wasn't.
So that sort of cross is useful. It could go anywhere. Could have been a corner. OGs have defended it nicely, but it's worth putting those crosses in, as long as your forwards are aware that that's what the players might be doing.
Well, that's true. We saw at least two occasions in the first half where they've sailed through the crowd. Now we've seen two that have stuck a little bit and become more dangerous as a result. Mark Wadsley. Robbie Gleeson. Just a little bit of a tap on him. He's getting himself up off the floor.
Difficult to find forward passes from there, particularly the way that Old Georgians are defending.
Slight miscontrol, but no real danger there. Decent zonal pressure this from Old Georgians at the moment.
Yeah, they're good at it. They make it difficult to find you an easy route out. Demands more of the Beeston players, particularly in these sorts of areas. And again, that's resulted in a turnover because they've pressed so well.
Another blast on the whistle. The pace has noticeably dropped. Is that as a tactical thing, or is that at the players feeling the heat a tiny bit?
Well, I think Old Georgians will be aware of the fact that they don't have to push that hard and expose themselves to any kind of risk, because at the moment they would expect possibly Beeston will turn the ball over, so they can keep their shape and their structure. That means they can play with a bit more patience and maybe at a slower pace, and they won't increase that pace until they get into the last third of the pitch.
Aerial ball taken nicely, but the pressure from Chris Proctor is good. It's hustled.
Good defence from
Old
Andy, ball
Georgians.
nicely controlled.
Big shouts of out in front of us. Suggestion Thomas Doran, the captain of Old Georgians, are taking the ball out. Beeston ball. Decent skills.
Good
Nicer
skills.
outlet ball to the left-hand side. That feels a little bit sore, I'm sure. That is 19, Will Carter-Keel, who's just been struck with a ball. I'm sure it looks like a hand or a wrist. Now, did the ball hit him or did he fall awkwardly?
I think the ball hit him, I think.
Seems to be okay to continue. He's shook his arm a couple of times. We should be good for play to continue. We're waiting for that whistle, and there it is. We are going again. In towards the baseline. Close in towards goal. Goalkeeper's come out. And that's another swing and a miss from a very promising position.
2 for Beeston so far, where they could have connected. It's allowed Old Georgians out. Stephen Lawrence needs to get across and cover that, which he's done quite well.
Cracking routine, by the way.
Yeah.
The player creeping in unnoticed towards the baseline. That was a very, very nice effort.
Well, certainly been opportunities for Beeston. It's just that bit of composure at the right moment.
And that one has gone out of play. Beeston ball. 45 minutes almost completed. Beeston 1, Old Georgians 2. But this game very much still in the balance.
Well, I'm glad it's a close scoreline, because that means that anything can happen. And you know, there's always that worry that a side like Old Georgians have been scoring a lot of goals, and Beeston have done pretty well against Surbiton and Hampstead to keep scorelines tight. And they're doing that again at the moment.
It has been a very, very arduous start, given the teams that the Beeston have been faced against. Nice pick out of the air.
It's not the start you would have picked, but
No.
was the on the ball here.
There's a player without a stick, so they're out of the game for the moment. Nice dancing run, and that one's into towards the goal and wide of the upright.
Well, the skills there to get an open space for shot were excellent, but then of course the miss hit has just put the ball past the post. That's such a shame.
It looked like it started off on target, and I don't think it took a deflection, but I think it looked a lot better when it started than when it finished.
Well, you have to sort of remember what's happened in these situations and see that by using a little bit of skill or a drive towards the edge of the D, it does present opportunities, and Beeston can take confidence from that. But the counter-attack threat from Old Georgians is always going to be there.
Card, by the way, not pictured, so there's a Beeston player making his way off at the moment. Robbie Gleeson has been shown the green card, so it will be Old Georgians with a player advantage for 2 minutes.
Robbie's been holding that defence, it's quite tight, so...
Could this be number 3? Good stop. That one's fired towards the goal as well, and that one is out of play. Instantly making that man advantage look better value than when Beeston had the same opportunity.
And dangerous moments for Beeston there. They don't want to see this go to 3-1. That would be such a tricky scoreline to fight back from, but whilst it remains 1 goal apart, there's always that chance. Yeah, losing Robbie Gleeson on a card is difficult. They're going to have to be careful to cover that role because he's been quite influential in Beeston's defence.
Using as long as possible to get the restart going. With it, Matthew Ming in front of us to 15, Lee Morton. Morton looks to go wide, and that's a very, very strong tackle. Nicely done. Sensible play here from Beeston, wind the clock down. Mark Wadsley just in front of us here. He's done very well to maintain possession and win a free hit as well.
Yeah, it's good to see Mark playing. He's in the coaching setup now for Beeston and played for many years here at the club. Played in the European stuff when Beeston was in it, and he's part of the side that won the title on 2 occasions. So
here's a turn up. There's Richard Lawrence expecting a whistle, and he has won Beeston a free hit. Wadsley goes with it, goes towards the baseline. That's surely a foot in the circle, corner. And it is a penalty corner for Beeston.
Bit of an old head there, deliberately winning a corner, which is one of the things that they need to do.
And of course, if you're new to the sport, that clock will still continue to count down on that 2-minute penalty as well. So it's a double win for Beeston there.
Just catching Andy Bull's foot there. Now we've got Richard Lawrence on this, and I think he might be the preferred choice. And if he gets his powerful flick off and accurate, there's a chance he can score. He's quite good at scoring from PCs when he's low into the corner, but he's also sometimes prone to missing the target, so he needs to concentrate on that.
Box office though, either way, let's see what happens. We can see Samapula's rejoined the fray as well, so there's a couple of players with good experience and good skill there to dispatch the ball towards the goal. Let's see what the outcome is. The delivery's firm towards the left-hand side. It is Lawrence, and that's long corner is the outcome.
I think they thought that was should have been a rear ward, but Lee Barron didn't see it that way. Good running out number 1, you'd say, because it's turned a short corner threat into a long corner, and now they've turned it round, so that'll be satisfactory defence from Old Georgians' point of view.
Yep, wiped away the 2 minutes as well, so both sides up to 11 once again. We're creeping towards the end of the 3rd quarter, by the way. It really has rattled along at a pace. It's been a very good game. Hopefully you're enjoying this on whichever platform you're watching us on today. This is BeeTV, courtesy of Beeston Hockey Club, showing you live Premier Division hockey. Ball squirts out to Henry Croft, who's rode one challenge very well indeed. Looks to find a pass, and that's
dangerous
so
cross.
nearly turned in.
Yeah, shows the benefit of getting that cross in quickly. Henry Croft, as a youngster, has taken a good opportunity there, and it's a pity that somebody hasn't quite got on the end of it, but it was flying a bit high as well. But it's a strong position for Beeston to build something else.
Long corner. Let's see how this one unfolds. This could be flashed towards goal. It's still live. And out of play.
Tight angle for the shot, which, don't know, maybe that could have been one of those situations where it was perhaps moved again, but it's worth having a go, but it's quite easy for the keeper to save that pace and height. But the opportunities are quite clearly there, so they need to keep pushing for them, whether it's an open play shot or a PC. Making Old Georgians work, and there's a turnover.
Into the circle, flashed above the crossbar though.
Yeah, again, created space on the edge of the D for the shot, just didn't quite execute it right, got too far under it. That's sort of 3 opportunities in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Now, it feels to me like Old Georgians are starting to fall off a little bit. I know that's probably
dangerous.
not the case, but it's a dangerous. It just feels like it. Maybe they're due something. No, it's a Beeston defensive hit. We're about 30 seconds away from
Well, you do find that games go in patches, Andy, sometimes, and you've got to make the most of it when you're having a bit of a purple patch. Maybe that was Beeston's 3 opportunities, but they've got to create more.
Old Georgians play the ball into the corner of the field and defended relatively well from Beeston. That trick though didn't come off. It's presented it to James Tyndall. Tyndall's ball in, and that's stopped with a foot from Hudjwan.
That's got to be one of the daftest places to try fiddling with the ball, trying to get out there, because it nearly led to a goal scoring opportunity.
Chris Proctor, 21, doing very well. There's another black shirt though just into the shop now. I'm sure they don't want this quarter to end. Nice carousel, but it's been picked up by Old Georgians. Nice, again, work to try and close down that pass out to defence. Doesn't come off, and that is the whistle.
So it's interesting, these quarters, whatever you think about them really, they do create these little phases of play. I mean, the phases of play happen in games naturally anyway, but when you've got little runs into breaks like this, it can change the intensity up and down, and I think Beeston have had a good maybe 10 minutes almost there, but they've not taken their chances.
No, you said there feels like there should be another goal in this game. Well, there hasn't been in the third quarter. It's still Beeston 1, Old Georgians 2. On the score sheet, Tom Watson and Edward Carson for the visitors, Old Georgians. Lucas Ward, number 19 for Beeston, equalising for Beeston. That is the way the game sits at the moment. Let's have a quick look around the other grounds as well. Oh, what a game in progress at Holcombe. Holcombe 3, Wimbledon 3. That's looking like a tasty number there. And there is a goal at last in the match between Hampstead and Westminster and Brooklands. It is the champions that have the lead. There's still 17.5 minutes to play here at Beeston. And if you like your hockey, then I'm sure you'll love the offer available here for the FAH Olympic qualifiers. Head on down to Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre the 2nd and 3rd November. 2 games each day, Great Britain's men and women in action on both days. You can get tickets to those matches via beestonhockeyclub.com/Olympic qualifiers. One more time, beestonhockeyclub.com/Olympic qualifiers. Join me down there, by the way. You'll see me and you'll certainly hear me down there for the first day of those Olympic qualifiers. Hopefully the players getting inspired by the choice of music at the end of the third quarter. Theme from Rocky. Will we see a knockout from Beeston? I wonder what the next 17.5 minutes have got in store.
Well, if ever there was a time for a power play to come into place, it's now, because Beeston can't wait too long. If they want to get a win out of this, they've got to play with the intensity they had in the last 5 minutes of that quarter, and they need to take the chances if they're creating them.
Popped up off an Old Georgian foot. Beeston ball bang on the halfway line. So once again, if you are fancying a nomination for the Riley Wealth Management Player of the Match, do so via @officialBHC on Twitter. That's @officialBHC on Twitter for your nominations and your suggestions for the Riley Wealth Management Player of the Match. Who stood out for you so far?
Well, I think from Beeston's point of view, I think Chris Proctor has been good on the ball. I think Henry Croft as well has been in some dangerous positions, and they happen to be the 2 players that have had the swing and a miss opportunities. I think from Old Georgians' point of view, they're very in control of most areas of the pitch. I like what they do with their presses, and that's made life very difficult for Beeston.
Good 3D skills there on the sideline, and this is very nice indeed, releasing Jonas Holtmans. Holtmans, though, his progress is blocked.
Trying to take Andy Bull on there, that's bread and butter to him for a defensive tackle.
I noticed that Andy Bull is number 2 and Nick Bull is the goalkeeper. Are there any connection between the 2 balls, do you think?
Not as far as I know.
to the baseline once more. Decent step in from Beeston and a tap out of play.
See, I think this is going to be the danger that in Beeston trying to get back into the game will leave opportunities for OGs, and of course they can be very dangerous. Pinned in the corner at the moment, but they're finding a way out. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, when we're talking about how you get out of those tight areas, this is one of the ways. A good quick transfer finds the ball on the opposite side of the pitch with a bit more space.
Towards the baseline, important interception, although ball is still with the away side. And Stephen Lawrence there didn't know or wasn't sure about hitting it or letting it roll out, and finally let it roll out for a long corner. Ball on the left-hand side, that's a block in the air from Simon Hujwan.
Yeah, finding it difficult to escape at the moment, again because of the pressure that Old Georgians are putting on. They do lead well to get that ball on each sort of lane, and that's given them a corner.
There it is. And I think your rule of three, this is the third penalty corner.
This is the danger one.
There's that first block from Simon Hujwan with the left glove. And look how quickly the ball's put down. I noticed that. The play.
You can see those leads from the forwards, how they're prepared to sprint quickly to get ahead of the defender, and the player feeding the ball knows that that's what the forward will do, so he's happy to just dip that ball on a lane. And the upgrade factor came in there, and that's given them their corner.
So we've got our eyes on a couple of the players who are dotted around the edge of the circle at the moment. Tom Carson is there, number 8, just to the left and centre of your picture.
James Tyndall as well. So
Beeston are ready to defend this. Old Georgians are very ready to attack this. This is going to be a spectacular couple of moments. It's out and trapped, and it's a little reverse ball in and then flapped away. High drama.
yeah, good redirection by the runners to stop that flick being got off, and Simon Hujman watched that well. Still dangerous here.
Towards the near post. Again, no dangerous play, no risks.
Stephen Lawrence doing very well, keeping his eye on the ball, but not really able to get this away safely at the minute. Here's a chance to do that. Moving Beeston around a lot here, making them work hard for any possession they're going to get, but doing it accurately so the ball's not turned over. See, in a final quarter, the possession matters, and it can take minutes out of the game. And for the side trying to get back into it, that's very frustrating. So when you do get back on the ball like Beeston have now, the build-up has got to be meticulous because they want to be playing at the other end of the pitch.
Seems to be missing a ball again, but we are back up and running. Beeston get us going. Almost 58 minutes completed here. Beeston 1, Old Georgians 2. This result would put Old Georgians back to the top of the tree, if I'm not mistaken and my mental arithmetic works properly. So Surbiton's big result earlier today pushed them above Old Georgians, and
There you go, Lucas Ward on a decent run through the middle of the park. It's not led to anything. Notice Ashley Jackson on the bench for Old Georgians. A bit of extra technical input from him, I'm sure.
Indeed, not part of the match day 16. He's definitely coaching today, although he's listed as a player.
Is he?
He is listed as a player, yes. Number 20 is his squad number. There's a long burst of the whistle, and
another corner.
In fact, he did appear, actually, Jackson, in one appearance this season against Exeter University.
Oh, right.
So he has played this season.
So that aerial into an open space, and there's nobody on. That's Tom Carson there at all. This is the attention to detail that when you're trying to get back into a game, you can't ignore a player that's just sort of wandered into an open area. You do rely on your keeper to communicate to defenders that there's somebody doing that, so that it can be covered. Because defenders' honour in the D, if you're close to that, would have taken this away, and instead it's resulted in a penalty corner, so it's making life very difficult for Beeston.
Right, so this is the fourth, so your rule of three really comes
out the window, my rule of thumb.
They've gone direct this time, decent save. It is out of play for a Beeston ball. It did come through my assumption was that Hudge got a touch there, but it must have gone directly out of play.
Yeah, trying to find that bottom corner, went a bit wide. But of course, the time it takes to get your kit off from these corners now, you don't get quite the rapid restart that you could get in the past. And
that's turned over again in a very dangerous area. Important interception and touch, and Beeston have gone very quickly halfway up the field, and they've decided to go. That's taken a player out. Wadsley plays it nicely into the final quarter. Joe Sharp under pressure. Sharp involved again. That's
good work from Henry Croft. I think a couple of times he was close to having a decent open shot, but he didn't quite go for him. But the pressure's here now for Beeston. They need to make something of this.
Indeed, get something, upgrade, find that extra moment, because at the moment it's looking like 5 games down, and
just the 3 points. Yeah. I think it's not quite going Beeston's way at the moment, but it's you make your own luck in your moments, and there's certainly been those opportunities. They find it very difficult to get quality build-up play because of the way that Old Georgians play. And again, this baseline feed to players is dangerous for Beeston.
And that has gone out of play. With 8 minutes to play, do you think Old Georgians are looking at a real shot at the title this year?
I think with a side like Surbiton around, that's quite difficult, but I certainly see them pushing for one of those top 4 spots, and then anything can happen, and when they're at full strength, they're very dangerous. Surbiton have already stolen a march, and they are quite a quality setup, but other than that, their competition is Wimbledon and Hampstead, I think. Holcombe to some extent. Those top 4 teams are sort of the London-based teams, really.
Decent control from the Thomas Doran, captain of Old Georgians there, faked to go with a pump of the ball, but he's went backwards in the end. And this is, I think, a new phase of the game. Old Georgians very happy to keep possession, and they will only go forward when they can spy a real opportunity, and things must have opened up for them as they're making their way through the middle and now out to the right. Doran again.
Yeah, they've got some good experienced heads, and their build-up play has been very good. There's a very definite difference between the experienced players that Old Georgians have got and the youngsters who are developing that Beeston have, and you see that most of all when it comes into the passing games considered, because the turnover rate from Beeston's been much higher than Old Georgians.
To get us going again, Dan Shingles. He has the ball just under his foot. That one has gone all the way out of play though. 6.5 minutes to play. 6.5 minutes to Beeston for Beeston to find an equaliser. 6.5 minutes for Old Georgians to continue their unbeaten run in life in the Premier Division.
And there's always this temptation, as you saw with Robbie Gleeson, to force the issue, and it often leads to a turnover. Little errors that creep in because there's a hastiness about your game, and you want to be playing at the other end. That has to come from a quality build-up. You're not going to be able to just smash it up there and find that you've got a great goal-scoring opportunity. And these little missed tackles, it sort of lose minutes and benefit Old Georgians more than they do Beeston.
That's the end of the pitch that you want to be if you're currently trying to protect. Not necessarily score again, but if you're looking to protect that 1-goal lead.
A lot of space there.
Decent feed, decent take to the baseline again. Long corner.
I think with this amount of time left on the clock, there's probably going to be one, maximum 2 opportunities for Beeston to equalise. They're going to have to deal with this relentless attacking pace of Old Georgians.
That's a penalty corner.
Just what you
That's
don't want
a
to
nudge. Pointing at the ball. Holtman's, I'm sure he was saying that he's got the ball. That's how quickly that one got transferred in again. Let's, there we go, ball's down, played in very quickly into space. Lead. That's a shoulder to shoulder, it wasn't Holtman's at all, that was Lucas Ward.
You know, an experienced player in Tom Carson and a developing youngster in Lucas Ward. The outcome was that the experience won the short corner. Is going to lose 2 minutes of time for Beeston, making it even more difficult to get this equaliser.
If you are chasing the equaliser in relatively normal circumstances, you possibly think about taking your goalkeeper off. But given the position of the ball at the moment, that's not an option.
No.
Played in towards goal, down on the line, and then batted away.
Played out. A quick restart.
Could work nicely here. I can see Samapula flashing through at the bottom of your screen. Nice 3D skills, getting closer and closer to the circle. That's a foot, surely.
That's a corner. That's just what they need at this phase of the game. Rapid counter-attack. Good skills to get out of the tight area on the right-hand side from Jonas Holtman's there. Unfortunately, it's found a foot, so this is that sort of last chance that I think Beeston will find to get that equaliser.
Yeah, that nice little pick up there. Very nice. Played out, and then the defensive ball out, hitting his own defender. It was Thomas Doran who was clipped by the ball.
Yes, it was, yeah.
I don't know what he was charging at the umpire about, because that was fairly clear. But
it's always the way, isn't it? There's always an alternate view. Now, last time Richard Lawrence tried to get his flick towards the keeper's bottom left corner, and that was the number 1 runner was able to get out to that, so this needs to be a really quick injection to give him as much time as possible. I think if I was Richard, I'd be trying to get to the keeper's bottom right corner here if you could possibly do that.
Players are ready. It's out, it is quickly played towards the goal, it's bounced out.
It's exactly the same as last time, and too easily defended.
Quickly up the other end of the field go the visitors, all the way to the baseline. Umpire says it has gone out of play though. This is looking like the last throw of the dice for Beeston.
Yeah, for me that corner was, the castle was far too far over. It was very easy for the number 1 runner to block most of what Richard could do from that position.
Popped up just out of play. Beeston ball by the looks of things.
I'm absolutely sure Old Georgians will take there.
But the Beeston forwards are still in place. They're hoping for something to pop up, and this could be just the thing. Two minutes, less than. Looking for that equaliser.
Good turn.
It is picked up by the baseline. Nice slide of the ball. It is up and away.
Second chance here to create something.
Clock is stopped. Umpire is showing a green card to, I believe that's
time wasting, yeah.
No, James Albury's still on the field. Who's gone off? I'm trying to work out who's gone off. It is number 8 who's gone off, Tom Carson. So his game is over. Are they looking for a foot in there? I'm sure that would be second prize. Incredible skills out of defence.
Yeah, good work from the defender there. That was just what Old Georgians needed at that point. A little more than a minute left now.
Just this is the mystique and magic of television for you. We had a nomination for Riley Wealth Management Player of the Match a couple of minutes ago. If I can request that bit of information again, we'll read that one out. So if we can request that bit of information, we'll give the Riley Wealth Management Player of the Match, as we are in the final minute of the game. And courtesy of a celebrity viewer, Sam Ward, he has nominated James Albury as Riley Wealth Management Player of the Match. And who are we to disagree with Sam Ward? So James Albury is Riley Wealth Management Player of the Match.
Historic Beeston connection between those two. Now, I was just thinking then, there was an opportunity for Robbie Gleeson to actually get that ball forward into the D, and Old Georgians again came out, quickly closed him down and were able to stop that happening. That's been a bit of a feature of the game, and consequently the game comes to an end.
It has come to a close. It's a bit of a strange finish to the game, doesn't
it?
Yeah,
it was.
Robbie Gleeson doesn't seem to be too thrilled about things, but let us go through the match detail one more time. We'll give you a quick roundup of the story of the game. We were pretty much intent that there were going to be more goals in this game, but it turned out there weren't. Beeston 1, Old Georgians 2 is your final score. Tom Watson opening the scoring on the 10th minute from open play. Beeston equalising on 19 from number 19, Lucas Ward. Lovely effort from the edge of the circle. Edward Carson with the winner, what ultimately turned out to be the winner at the end of the first half, popping up from close range, converting a penalty corner, which was the best goal of the three.
Well, I think to follow up on a short corner like the Edward Carson did for the last one, I think that was quite good, because the follow-up on a corner, you know, when you get, it's quite tough to do, particularly if it's being taken away quickly by a defender or keeper. So I think that was and it's obviously proved to be the winner.
That's the things that that's the skill that you want to really be taking away from that one. That's what you'll be picking up. The next fixtures for the men, it's Wimbledon away on the 20th. For the women, it's Beeston versus Buckingham on the 19th. Next up on BeeTV, it'll be Beeston women versus Buckingham on the 19th of October. We'll be back then. Steve Musson, thank you very much for your analysis and insights today. And to play us out, by the way, I'm Andy Day. It's been a pleasure keeping you company this afternoon on BeeTV. Here are those match highlights. Good afternoon. By Lee Barron, just making sure everything is precise, although that's a turnover.
There's an example.
The ball sticking very nicely for Old Georgians, and this is the first time into the circle. First attempt on goal, it's been blocked. Long corner is the indication. Quickly, that's a little bit of a nudge on 15, Lee Morton. Old Georgians ball.
Yeah, very quick restart there from Old Georgians. They're obviously keen to get this ball into the D.
Hojwan intercepts it, and that's the first penalty corner of the game. Let's see what happened there. It was 8 minutes on the board. That's blocked by Hojwan. Ball still live in the circle. Awful lot of bodies in front of him, and that's just somehow not gone in the goal. That hit a foot as well. It's going to be a Beeston ball.
I'm surprised that stayed out.
There's a muscularity to the forward line of Old Georgians.
Yes, there is.
Beeston have got to match. Into the circle they go, and that's the first goal of the game. Nice turn and shot from Old Georgians.
Well, that's exactly the point, really. There was a couple of...
Can he release a pass? He doesn't, but he wins second prize in the raffle, and it's a free hit for Beeston, taken quickly. They've taken a leak out of the Old Georgian book, and that's put in. What a finish! What a finish!
Lucas Ward. I think that was unusual, because I think for the first time so far, Old Georgians caught...
Teams are ready. Andy ball towards the left. It's been flashed in and smashed into the goal from short range.
That is a great follow-up. That ball was overhead height, and he's managed to get his reverse stick on that and just put it into them. Yeah. Apparently he's quite good at cricket as well. Very annoying.
Oh, you love people.
Talented, yes.
Aerial ball taken down nicely, trapped, and a swing and a miss.
Now that is a shame, because he did the hard work, yes. He just
We should be good for play to continue. We're waiting for that whistle, and there it is. We are going again. In towards the baseline. Close in towards goal. Goalkeeper's come out. And that's another swing and a miss from a very promising position.
2 for Beeston so far, where they could have connected.
Beeston have been faced against. Nice pick out of the air.
It's not the start you would have picked, but Mark Wasley on the ball here.
There's a player without a stick, so they're out of the game for the moment. Nice dancing run, and that one's into towards the goal and wide of the upright.
Well, the skill's there. So
here's a turn up. There's Richard Lawrence expecting a whistle, and he has won Beeston a free hit. Wadsley goes with it, goes towards the baseline. That's surely a foot in a circle, corner. And it is a penalty corner for Beeston.
Bit of an old head there, deliberately winning a corner, which
players with good experience and good skill there to dispatch the ball towards the goal. Let's see what the outcome is. The delivery's firm, it's towards the left-hand side. It is Lawrence, and that's long corner is the outcome.
I think they making Old Georgians work, and there's a turnover.
Into the circle, flashed above the crossbar though. Yeah. Ball on the left-hand side, that's a block in the air from Simon Hujwan.
Yeah, finding it difficult to escape at the moment, again because of the pressure that Old Georgians are putting on. They do lead well to get that ball on each sort of lane, and that's given them a corner.
There it is. And I think Georgians are very ready to attack this. This is going to be a spectacular couple of moments. It's out and trapped, and it's a little reverse ball in and then flapped away. High drama.
Yeah, good. That would have taken this away, and instead it's resulted in a penalty corner, so it's making life very difficult for Beeston.
Right, so this is the 4th, so your rule of 3 really comes
out the window, my rule of 3.
They've gone direct this time, decent save.
I think with this amount of time left on the clock, there's probably going to be 1, maximum 2 opportunities for Beeston to equalise. They're going to have to deal with this relentless attacking pace of Old Georgians.
That's a penalty corner.
Just what you don't want to do. To get this equaliser.
If you are chasing the equaliser in relatively normal circumstances, you possibly think about taking your goalkeeper off. But given the position of the ball at the moment, that's not an option.
No.
Played in towards goal, down on the line, and then batted away.
Needs to be a really quick injection to give him as much time as possible. I think if I was Richard, I'd be trying to get to the keeper's bottom right corner here, if he could possibly do that.
Players are ready. It's out, it is quickly played towards the goal, it's bounced out.
It's exactly the same as last time.